Welcome to GZR, Ground Zero Radio, the very best of Orange County's original music scene and beyond.
Beyond.
I like the beyond part. That's cool.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Kind of makes it, yeah.
Welcome to the show, Marc
Welcome,
Seal.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys.
Yes, we finally get you in here.
Well, it's weird because I was here like 8 years ago, and I
How
forgot.
about that?
I pulled up. I'm like, I've been here before. You know, that's the weird thing about doing this type of thing, is you run into a lot of places you've been.
Right, of course. It's hard to know where to start on this because when I'm getting a hold of you, I'm also seeing your social media, and you're in an aircraft.
Yeah, yes, that's
So you're
my
you're a flying guitar player.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, I started flying probably 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And flew as a kid. My dad had a plane, but then I kind of chose music over flying.
Mm-hmm.
That was my two options, and had a career in music. Obviously, did that whole thing, and then got into it. I was touring a lot for about 14 years for Taylor Guitars. I was on the road all the time and doing product specialist stuff, clinic stuff, doing NAMM shows, all that stuff, and content creation. It was a blast, but I'd be on planes. I was like, I want to fly someday again. And so I'd start studying while I was on planes touring.
No kidding.
And then I'd come home and I would take lessons while I was home. And then I would go back out and fly. And so I'd study while I was on the planes and vice versa. And so ultimately I got my license during pandemic. That first year of pandemic, I got my private pilots and I started flying a ton. And then I went and got my instrument rating. I just passed that test a couple of months ago. So
Boy.
I'm pretty stoked.
That takes a lot of attention to be able to be a pilot.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about, an introduction for people who don't know who you are. They'd probably be living under a rock. But, I mean, you headline the Coach House. You do gigs all over the place. You've played with a lot of famous people. You're a guitar teacher, which is one of the things that I reached out to you years ago. In fact, I asked my wife to give me some lessons for Christmas from you, but we never got it scheduled.
Connected.
Which is a heck of you have a great history in music. Where did it all start? How did it start?
My dad was a professional musician. He was a country artist, acoustic guitar, kind of cowboy chord guy, and had a couple of hits. He had a couple songs in the early 80s. He had a song when the movie Urban Cowboy came out. He had a song that went to, I think, number 29 or something. It was called Bourbon Cowboy, and it did well for him. And so I used to go to clubs and I watched him play as a kid, and then I just started playing. I got my first guitar on my 11th birthday, started just kind of banging away on that, and then went to GIT, which is a music school up in LA.
Yes.
Did
no
that
wonder. That's the secret right there.
I did that right after high school, and then just started recording albums, and then my career took a completely different path when I got offered to do this internet show in 1999. The internet was still young, and started doing that, and then that turned into Guitar Center stuff. That turned into a television show, which I did, the Ultimate Guitar Show, for a few years. And then that turned into all the sponsorships with Taylor Guitars and Mesa Boogie and all those people, and then that ultimately is what led me to kind of deciding I didn't want to be in a band. I just had too many bad experiences having to rely on other people. And so I'm like, I'm going to do it on my own. So I did 5 instrumental albums and then 1 live one. And then ultimately did the Taylor thing where I was just touring for them, fly dates, and I'd go in and do road shows. It was like it was like wine tasting for high-end guitars.
Right.
And I would do NAMM shows. We'd create content videos for their website, all that stuff. And I was able to kind of be an independent artist.
Yeah.
Playing guitar, doing what I love, but I didn't have to be in a tour bus with 5 other dudes,
Hey, Marc Seal in the studio.
That's right. He is.
Let's check out one of your hot tunes, my man.
I think we should. Absolutely.
This one is titled Running Alone.
Yeah, that's a fun song. This one was one I wrote for a friend of mine. He used to run all the time. He would tell me about how he'd have to speed up and slow down and do all this stuff. So I thought, I'm going to write a song for him to run to. And that's seriously the impetus of the song. So,
perfect.
Hey, that's cool. Check this out. Running Alone by Marc Seal.
Yeah,
What you think about that, yo?
Awesome. Yeah. So what I was going to mention is we know that you're a school GIT graduate, which, see, here's the thing. I'm a guitar player. Everybody thinks that, like, I'm all about speed. But, you know, the work that you do, which is why it always caught my ear, is because you have the melody broke with the speed. And if you don't have the melody, forget the speed. Yeah. And so that's always been a magical mix that you've done. And I've watched a lot of your videos, even the videos you do for learning guitar and training this stuff like that. That's something that you mentioned. You know, you have patterns that you use that are melodic, that are real. They're not scale oriented, even though they could be. But you know, I mean, each one of your compositions has a true song behind it. You know. It could be sung, I guess. So I think that's really neat.
You nailed it, because it's like I grew up, you know, if I had to tell you my 5 guitar players I learned from basically Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, but even more so Van Halen and David Gilmour and Rush, Alex Lifeson.
There you go.
So I learned like all the how to play guitar technically. Probably Van Halen was all the, you know, because I learned tried to learn all the crazy stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But then listening to David Gilmour, like he's my all-time favorite, because it's just, you can have one note and it's just so musical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what does it for me. So if I can have some of the shred stuff in there, make it kind of fun to watch, but ultimately it does come back to melody. That's cool you picked up on
it
that.
Really does.
That's
and you know, as long as we're going to nerd out on guitar stuff here, I mean, the thing about magic of Eddie was the fact that he was melodic.
Yeah.
You know, people just think that he's scribbling. He's not. You know, that's why his solos are so difficult to play.
Yeah.
That's why you just can't learn a few licks and do an Ed thing.
Right.
You know, he's playing melody. Yeah. And back in the day when we were trying to learn how to play his stuff, we put it on a turntable and we put it down to 16 or whatever, and you heard the melody and the lick he was playing, and you kind of just sped that up. Yeah, right?
That's exactly right. I remember I used to have a cassette tape deck that I could put half speed.
Yes.
And it'd be down an octave, so it was a little harder. You'd be like, oh gosh, this is tough. But you could hear exactly what was going on.
That's right.
That was a lot of training, a lot of ear training, trying to figure that stuff out.
So what year did you go to GIT?
You want to date me?
Okay. I'm sorry. That's the way it works. It's all honesty around here.
No, it is. I'm 54 years old now.
Oh, you're young.
I went there out of high school. I graduated there I graduated in September of '88. I went there in '87, beginning of '87. Yeah, right. A long time ago.
That's when it was big. I had a lot of friends that went there.
Well, we were playing at that time. That was when we were playing, like, you know, doing the Whiskey and Gazzarri's and the Troubadour and Club Lingerie and all those places. It was like everybody from Jane's Addiction to Guns N' Roses and Ray Surratt. All these bands were there. It was kind of the heyday of that. And that was a fun era of life. But that's also when I decided I didn't want to be a band. My singer and my drummer were freaking crazy. Like, I can't do this life, man. This is going to be too much.
And they're probably listening, but that's okay.
No, actually, they're probably both not, because they're both not doing great, I don't think, you know, unfortunately. But,
what was the name of that band?
Shocking, I was in a bunch of bands. I had a band called Nirvana.
Really?
We named it after the Cult.
Okay.
That Cult song, way before the band Nirvana came out.
Right.
I was in a band called Sound Asylum. We were in a band called Buck Howdy was a fun one.
Okay.
A band called The Trip. So
wow.
It was a bunch of different bands. When I was at school, we were kind of constantly reinventing ourselves, and we would play everything from harder rock to almost Duran Duran type stuff.
Sure.
We listened to that stuff when we were kids. It was like Van Halen and Duran Duran. It was such a neat time to play music, because nothing was off limits. Mm-hmm. Now everything kind of sounds like something, but back then everything you could come up with, any weird concoction of influences you could pull together, gave you a unique sound.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Back then there was basically like 4 genres.
Yeah.
And now there's a subgenre of a subgenre. Yeah. So there was so much creativity coming out of the woodworks. Yeah. Back then, it was so original to do something different, because there were only these like 4 static genres.
Right. Yeah.
So to bend the rules a little bit was like, whoa, what's he doing? That's tasty.
Yeah.
So how did '92 hit you like the rest of us when Nirvana actually did hit and things changed?
That was actually great for me, that era for me, because I was teaching literally 60 to 70 guitar lessons a week. I was peaking there, and I was playing a lot of fusion and progressive rock, right? So I wasn't really listening to, that would all come in. Every kid that came in that was a new student wanted to learn everything off that first Nirvana record, for sure. You know, you had to teach all that stuff. But it was great because I would have all these different students that would bring in so many different types of music. I'd have to stay hip to what was going on, but I'd also have to learn all these different things that I had never played,
Right.
while still focusing. And that was my whole era where, literally in 10 years, every 2 years, I did a new full-length instrumental album over 10 years. I did 5 albums in 10 years.
Wonderful.
And it was all like what you just heard, that kind of stuff where it's instrumental. So for me, that was like just the era of just learning to play guitar, to get as good as I could become a guitar and just kind of keep writing songs. And and I wasn't trying to do the mainstream thing at all. I was just playing music that was like, bigger fish, smaller pond type stuff.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So we had a run-in by chance. You probably don't remember it, but Shane, your landlord, is a friend of mine.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I just saw
Did you know
Shane
that?
today.
Did you?
I don't remember that. Where did we run it? What was there?
So you probably didn't know this, but one of the suites next to yours, I was storing some musical equipment there.
Oh, no
and so
way.
because he allowed me to do that for free. And then I was there in his office and I saw, that
my
was your
gosh.
place. And I was like,
I was
oh my
there
God,
today.
It's such a small world.
I was recording a track in there today because it's
No
kind of a real
kidding.
record. And he is just such a cool dude.
Oh,
That's one
my
of my favorite
gosh.
people in the whole world.
I have to agree.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll have to mention that I did this. I don't think I told him I was doing this. So
Yeah. Tell him I said hello.
for sure.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so how many students do you have now?
Not really any. I mean, well, it depends. I do a live weekly internet show.
Okay.
And I've been doing that for the last couple of years, so I don't know
Yeah.
how many hundreds or thousands of people watch that, but the
But nobody coming into the private
friends
one?
like if somebody wanted to come in, I've got probably 4 or 5 friends and
Okay.
a couple of friends' kids, and
Yes.
it's just kind of when it works out. The one kind of caveat I had them know was I would love to work with them and do it. I just can't do it consistently because there's days where I'm flying. If the weather's good, I might go take off and go do something. No, I mean, seriously. I mean, that's
I know,
that's
I
true.
know.
I hope that didn't sound. I don't.
No,
mean that
no, no,
I
not
just
at
that's
all.
just it's my. I'm just trip out
Yeah,
that honestly at my age I found something that I love as much as I loved music as a kid. I
Yeah.
love flying like that now.
Yeah.
It's like I've done the music thing. I love it. It's great. I'm super grateful. All of that, but I just love flying my plane now. That's like the funnest thing ever.
Yeah,
But dude, you could fly yourself to your own gigs.
I know. Yeah, that's
There
half
you
the
go.
thing right there.
I think
is,
John Travolta kind of does the same thing.
Same with Iron
Flies
Maiden.
in-
Same with Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Those guys fly the whole tour.
They do.
747, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that guy's a stud.
I know, incredible. Yeah, some of these guys, amazing, these large jets.
Yeah, I've never flown a jet. I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
So what do you
Me
fly?
too.
I've just got a little Piper Arrow. It's a little 4-seater, single engine, and I can control it.
Nice.
Right.
nice.
It's like a little go-kart in the sky. It's
Right. Where do you fly out of?
Fly to Chino.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
ideal because you have 3 exit points from California. You can go south, like through the Banning out to Palm Springs, go out to the desert, go to Sedona, Havasu. I can go through the Cajon Pass, go out to Havasu, which I'm doing on Friday. Or I can go north along the mountains there and get out of LA and go up to Paso Robles.
You did a long trip a while ago, didn't you?
Went
Did
to-
you go East Coast?
We went all the way to Oshkosh in
Oh, okay.
Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah, we did that Oshkosh, which is the biggest air show in the world. Did that like 2 or 3
Absolutely.
years in a row.
Yeah.
That's a long one, but it's good. It's fun.
But have you ever seen a Tic Tac?
A Tic Tac?
Yeah, good question.
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
That's the UFO that the guys.
Oh no, no, yeah. I'm sorry. I was like, wait, coming back. I have not. I've seen nothing along the lines of
kind
any
of-
kind of UFO.
Nada,
Thank
nada.
God, that would also be terrifying.
right.
Yeah.
Freak you out. Lead us into Wash Over Me.
This is kind of a spiritual song. This is just I was in and this exemplifies you're talking about melody.
Mm-hmm.
This is cool because this is Matt Bissonette on bass who played with Cedric,
yeah.
Greg Bissonette, Matt. So Matt plays for Elton John. Greg's played with everybody. He's the Ringo's band.
Sure.
They're all studio guys. And then
Yeah.
Ron Pedley, who is Barry Manilow's keyboard player. They all played on this track. They played on this whole record actually, and they made me sound so much better than I could ever be because they were so good. I was like a kid in a candy shop. I was like, wow, these are some of my heroes. I saw
Sure.
Matt and Greg play at the Forum in LA in like maybe 1986 or 87 with David Lee Roth and Steve Vai. And I'm in the audience watching them play. And then, 15, 20 years later, I get
You're
to do
with
a
them.
record with them. It was amazing.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's super
All right.
cool.
That's cool.
Check this out. Wash Over Me by Marc Seal. was Wash
All
Over
right.
Me by Marc Seal.
The modest man he is.
Oh gosh. I just know me, and I know
Yeah.
the truth. So.
Yeah. Well, we're having so much fun with this music. We're gonna jump into the next one. That's what we're gonna do.
And what is this next one titled? Christ Beauty.
Yeah. You want the 2-second funny story on that one?
Yes,
Sure.
we do.
When I first wrote it, it was this fun little tapping riff, right? So it was technically kind of cool. I was all proud of it. So I originally called the song Marc's Beauty, and it was on a first demo I did. If you're like, Marc, what do you think? You think you're beautiful? Like people are like calling me out for the name of the song. I'm
right,
like, no,
yeah.
I mean, it's like my little masterpiece. And I realized,
Yeah.
where does my gift come from? And I kind of, did my whole spiritual thing that I have. And so that's why
There it
where
is.
actually came from. So that's a quick story.
That's awesome.
Christ Beauty by Marc Seal. Check this out. You were listening to The Stunning Aesthetics of Christ Beauty by Marc Seal.
Wow.
Yeah.
The stunning aesthetics.
Stunning.
Say my next
Aesthetics.
record.
There you go. I couldn't
As
even
a tongue
pronounce
twister.
That is a tongue twister.
We're good with catchphrases, bumper stickers.
Things like that. Yeah, we do a pretty good job of that.
Yeah.
Stunning Aesthetics. There's your bumper sticker for Marc
Wow.
Seal.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes,
Something
sir.
easy to pronounce.
Just rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Stunning, though.
That's true.
You know I'm right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could absolutely melt into your melodies.
Oh, thank you.
Really?
That's really sweet. It's a weird thing to. I have a weird time when I hear that stuff because I don't know. It's challenging for me. I appreciate it though. It's very sweet.
Hey,
It's
I
making-
I
I'm getting
appreciate
embarrassed.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the no ego, humble dude. You really
Yeah.
are. I mean, I don't know what else to say except for, the melodies that you're talking about. You are singing with that guitar.
That's because I don't have a voice. I'm a terrible
Beautifully.
singer, honestly.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I never had any belief in this thing at all. So I was like, okay, I got to figure out another way to do it.
Well, then you picked the right instrument,
I
Yeah.
think so.
right?
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about the.
Yeah, the live internet show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when pandemic, I was doing all the touring with Taylor right up until the end of 2019. Obviously, pandemic hit 2020. In fact, my last Coach House headlining concert was 5 days before pandemic shut the Coach House down.
Wow.
I was one of the last bands to play there before that went down. And basically, at that time, I had been getting calls for a few years to do another live internet show like I'd done years ago, and I always turned it down because I was on the road a lot. So this time, I'm home for a while, clearly, and so we decided to do it. So it's called Take the Lead. It's fugu.com, fugu.com, and you have to sign up or anything. You just go there, click Take the Lead. There's 100. We've done 127 shows, I think, 28.
Wow.
Something. So every week for the last 2.5 years, it's a live hour show. Was on Thursdays, now on Wednesdays at 3. And every time if you come on, you can win strings. We teach guitar. We talk about pedals, gear, talk shop. I answer your questions in real time, but it's also video. It's all HD video. So it's 3-camera shoot.
Awesome.
And it's fun. So it's like we hang out. We have a great community of guitar players and musicians that log in every week. So come and join come and join if you can.
For sure.
Excellent. If you
Yeah.
missed any part of that web address to watch that, you can find it on our social media ads, Ground Zero Radio social media ads for tonight's interview. Those links are there. And also, when we put up this interview on YouTube, we'll also make sure that all your links are there as well. So don't
Awesome,
worry
thanks.
about missing a thing on those web addresses. We got you covered. You can find Marc Seal and his tasty melodies.
Yeah. Well, on the 18th, you might find me at Campus Jack's watching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you
in
go.
Yes,
the audience.
right?
Yeah, come and check that out. That was some good stuff earlier.
All right, next up is the T5 Jam.
Okay, this is a quick story. This is a good one though. So Taylor Guitars, Bob Taylor asked me to do a whole album on one guitar. They'd made a new guitar called the T5, and it was an acoustic electric hybrid guitar. They said do the entire album on one guitar, but don't play acoustic. Play it acoustic, but also play it electric. Every effect you can think of. So I wrote this song for Bob Taylor, kind of showcasing this guitar. So it starts off almost like a bass player playing an acoustic guitar, and then just a pile of sounds, wah pedals, octave. It's just silly.
Right on. Check it out. This is the T5 Jam by Marc Seal. That was the T5 Jam by Marc Seal.
Yeah.
All one
Dance
guitar.
party, we called it.
Yeah. Well, definitely Tanya and I decided we could dance to that. That was funky.
Right on. That's good stuff.
Good stuff, man. Thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Yeah, super blast. Thanks you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally got to do it, and we're looking forward to you coming back. You know, more material coming out, I'm sure, at some point. Bring your guitar next time.
I'm gonna come with them, and we're
I
gonna
know.
jam.
Yeah.
We'll have to rock it out a little bit. It'll be fun.
That actually is an interesting
Yeah,
combination.
maybe
Right?
our anniversary show or something.
Yeah, I know,
Keep us
right?
posted.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun. So fun.
Yeah.
Marc Seal in the house. All right, everybody, we're going to wrap this up and remind our listening audience and to share news about GZR Ground Zero Radio
please.
and the original artists that we've been having
right.
on the show. And we are here every Monday night, same time, same place, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. You can also catch a live stream on www.kociradio.com. Hey, so check this out. We have one more to go.
We do. We got one more to go.
Yeah, and last
Sadly.
but not, I know. Marc Seal, please come back.
I will do so. Thank you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun. Really appreciate it.
Excellent. We're going to take out this show with My Soul Poured Out by Marc
All
Seal.
right.